As I meet the sun in the rising, I usually am smiling. Grateful that another day has came after me dying. Staying in alignment. What's good, family? So today I wanted to talk a little bit about Mayan astrology. Now they call it astrology, but it's not really astrology because astrology is like watching the movement of celestial bodies. But this doesn't really have to do with the movement of celestial bodies. A lot of the mythology, the Mayan mythology, has to do with it. It's like an astro-theological system, just like a lot of theological systems really are when you dig deep. It's more so like a rotation of different energies throughout the calendar. There's 260 days in a Mayan calendar year. That 260 days is broken down to 13-day periods. If you do the math, there's 20. So there's 20 different Tricenas in a Mayan calendar year on that 260-day calendar. And there's also happens to be 20 Nawals. So every Tricena is a new Nawal. Right now, we're in the Tricena of Can. And Can is the energy of, it's basically similar to Kundalini. It's body lightning. The blood lightning is what they call it. Now, the Mayan people, they used to see the lightning and they would call it the sky serpent. But then they also felt like there was this lightning within our blood. And that's the energy of Can. Very similar to Kundalini, to Chi, to Prana, Pacha, whatever you want to call it, is very similar to that. And just like that, it's about power. It's about wisdom. But it's also about seduction of it on the shadow side of it. So, being that we're in the Tricena of Can, this might be a time where you're really tapping into your inner power, where you're accessing wisdom, divine wisdom. But it also might be a time where you need to watch out for seduction, for being seduced, and for also abusing your power and your wisdom to seduce others. So this is a time period to really be sensitive to your energy and to really pay attention. But anyways, that's not what this conversation is about. What I wanted to do was to kind of like show you how I calculate for a Nawal. And yeah, just give you an example of that, and to show you kind of like what I can come up with in a reading, in a Mayan Cross reading. So without further ado, let's get into that. So right here we have the Mayan Cross, and as you can see, it's broken down just like a cross. But right here, this would be your central energy, your main Nawal. So for example, my main Nawal is Ish, 9 Ish. So it would fall right here. Then back here, you got your past. You got your conception energy. Right here, you got your future. You got your elder energy, what you're going to step into. Now you can also go even further into a further eldership. This is like, childhood, from the ages of 0 all the way up until, you transition like right here, the ages of like 12, 13. And then you're in your full energy here at 26 years old. From here, you start to move forward. What's 26 plus 13? You're about 39, 40 years old. This is when you will start to transition into your eldership energy, which will come into its full effect around the age of 52. But then you can go even further, right? And then you can go into the age of 78. There you go. Okay, and then that's your further. And if you live longer, if you live a long life, you can go even further and even further. Shit, I'm trying to have like 3, 4 of them over here. Shit, you know what I mean? But then right here, you got your feminine, intuitive, artistic side, your left hand power. And over here, you got your right hand power, your masculine. Has to do with the physical world, practical side, work. Now, knowing your cross, knowing your energy is very helpful because you can kind of like know your strengths and know your weaknesses with both sides, and kind of get an idea about your past and like why what happened. And you can get you can get a reading of your base energy and like kind of challenges and the strengths that come with that, and then you can kind of see like what you're moving into. Now you can use websites to figure out what your nawal is, but they won't really go into full detail. And also, it's kind of weird. It seems very westernized. Like they'll say crocodile for your sign instead of saying like what the name of the nawal is. And yeah, there's a lot of sites that are just super westernized. So, but the calculations, for the most part, the ones that I've tried, have been accurate. It's just the description is weird. Um, some of them won't tell you the number associated with the either. They'll just give you the cross. Now, I will use these websites to kind of like double check to make sure my calculations were correct. But this is what I use to do my calculations. So we got all the 20 nawals here. And to make all the way to 260, we got 13 columns going this way. So for instance, my nawal, which is 9 ish, when I do all of the calculations, it comes out to 74. And then that's how I end up with 9 ish. And then to get my cross, I go back 8 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 Kamei. That's my childhood conception energy. I move 2 forward and I can figure out my masculine energy. 1, 2, which is 3 Anil. And then if I want to figure out my future eldership energy, I go 8 forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 Ik. And if I move 2 back, I can figure out my feminine. 1, 2, which is 2 Achpu. And that's my cross. And here's a cool thing. Let me show you. So the cross is the same, right? So cat, this is always going to be the cross for cat. Akmak, se, intihash. Akabal. This is always going to be the cross for Akabal. Siking, toch, noch, and bats. Can. This is always going to be the cross. Noch, bats, ach, and kawak. Right? So that's cool. But where we come with the difference is when the numbers come in. That's when we make the difference, right? But here's another cool thing. The numbers also always have the same cross. So if you have a 4, and you got 9, you got 12, you got 10, and you got 11. And for me, let's look at the 9. So we got, 9. Its past is always going to be 1. Future is always going to be 4. Left hand side is always going to be 2. And right hand side is always going to be 3. So my chart is 9 Ish, 1 Kamei, and then it's 4 Ik, and it's 2 Achpu, and 3 Anil. See, that's where the difference comes in. Because you can be an Ish, you have a 1 in 20 chance of being an Ish. You have a 1 in 260 chance of being a 9 Ish. And you have a 1 in 14,041 chance. I think it's 41 or is it 14? I'll put the correction. 14,041 or 14 chance of being a 9 ish born on the year of 8 Kech. So that's another thing to look at. Every year has a nawal. Now the way that it comes out mathematically, there's only 4 what they call year lords. There's Ke, E, Noch, and Ik. And as you can see, it goes in this order the whole time. But what the difference is the number that it shows up on. And as you can see, it just so happens, because of the mathematics, to go sequentially 1 through 13. Pretty cool, right? So every 54 years, we will see the same year lord. And this is why, or it's 54 or 52, either 54 or 52 years, we see the same year lord. And this is why that is said to be your adult energy, because now you have seen all of the year lords, you've seen all of the energies within the Mayan calendar. The year is kind of similar to, and it's hard to make parallels with Western astrology and Mayan astrology, the Mayan Cross rather, but the year would kind of be akin to your ascendant. That's what it would be akin to. And your Trisena, the Trisena that you were born in, would be your emotional energy. That would be like your moon sign, kind of. So for me, we got 9 Ish. All I got to do is go all the way back to 1. And my Trisena happens to also be my childhood conception energy, which is Kame. So I was born in the Trisena of Kame. That's going to be like my emotional drive. So I have an emotional drive for spiritual transformation, because that's what Kame is about, through the energies of my Nawal, through the energies of Ish, right? So if you're interested in getting a Mayan Cross reading, just go ahead and reach out to me. You can DM me, or if you're on YouTube, just go ahead and leave a comment. And then from there, we can kind of figure out how to get in touch with each other. Or just go to my Instagram and DM me. That too, it's another option. Right now, I'm doing for free. I will give you your Nawal. So I'll tell you, for instance, your central energy. I'll tell you that, and I'll tell you what the number mixed up with your Nawal, like what that means. I'll give you a small reading on that for free. Now, if you want a little bit more in depth, you want to take it a step up, I can give you your Nawal with the number, and I can give you a generalization of your cross, so you can kind of get to know what your past, future, masculine and feminine energies are. And I'll do that one just for a small donation of like $15 for a full reading. Now, if you want a full reading, you want to do your whole cross with the numbers involved in it. You want to know your future energy. You want to know when your next 2 upcoming Mayan birthdays are, and when was your last one. You want to know what your year lord is. You want to know what your Trisena is. And if you want even a relationship reading, then for that one, I'm asking for donations on a sliding scale from $44 to $99. You know, whatever it is that you can give within that scale. I mean, of course, if you want to give me more, I'm not going to argue with you. But, you know, just because I'm starting off right now, the price is low. Now, for most astrology readings, you know, they charge at least $100 to $300 for a reading. I'm not comfortable charging that quite yet, but, you know, eventually I probably will. So hop on it while you can right now. If y'all are really interested in this Mayan astrology and you want to keep following me and see what I'm sharing about it, then follow me if you're on Instagram, and, you know, just keep checking in to see if I got videos coming out. Also, I'll be uploading most of these videos on YouTube too, so subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're interested, if you vibe with me, you resonate with me, then go ahead and, you know, hit that like, leave a comment, share with your friends, and yeah, just stay tuned in, y'all. I love y'all. Have a good day. Have a good week. Hotep.